In the quiet, leafy neighborhood of Macon, Georgia, a gruesome discovery shook the community to its core. A young woman, full of life and promise, was found murdered in her own apartment. Lauren Giddings, a recent graduate of Mercer University, was just starting her journey as an educator. Her life was tragically cut short, leaving her family and friends devastated and searching for answers. The year was 2011, and the idyllic facade of this tranquil neighborhood was about to be shattered. The news of Lauren's murder spread like wildfire, leaving residents both terrified and bewildered. Who could have committed such a heinous act in their midst? The investigation quickly led police to a suspect living just doors away, Stephen McDaniel, a quiet and unassuming law student. On the surface, McDaniel appeared to be a model student, diligently pursuing his law degree at Mercer Law School. However, beneath the veneer of normalcy lurked a dark and sinister secret. Stephen McDaniel, the seemingly ordinary law student, was about to be exposed as the perpetrator of this horrific crime. Lauren Giddings was a bright and beloved young woman who had recently graduated from Mercer University with a degree in education. She had a passion for teaching and dreamed of inspiring young minds. Friends and family described her as kind, compassionate, and always willing to lend a helping hand. Lauren had just moved into her apartment in Macon, Georgia, excited to embark on her new career as an educator. She was eager to make a difference in the lives of her students and had so much to look forward to. Tragically, Lauren's dreams were cut short on the night of June 25, 2011. She was last seen alive by her neighbors, and her disappearance sparked a frantic search by both law enforcement and concerned community members. Days turned into agonizing nights as hope began to dwindle. Then the devastating news arrived. Lauren's dismembered remains were discovered in a garbage bin outside her apartment complex. The community was in shock, grappling with the loss of such a vibrant young life. Stephen McDaniel, a seemingly unremarkable law student, lived just a few doors down from Lauren Giddings. He was known around the apartment complex as a quiet and reserved individual, often keeping to himself. McDaniel excelled in his studies, consistently earning top marks, and appeared to be on a promising career path. However, beneath the surface of the diligent law student lurked a sinister secret. McDaniel harbored a dark obsession with Lauren, closely monitoring her every move. He became fixated on her, his thoughts growing increasingly disturbing with each passing day. Unbeknownst to Lauren and those around him, McDaniel had been secretly watching her for months. He peered through her windows, using a camera to capture images of her without her knowledge or consent. The more he observed Lauren, the more his obsession grew, consuming his thoughts and driving him to the brink of madness. McDaniel's once ordinary existence was now consumed by his twisted desires, setting the stage for a horrifying act of violence. As investigators delved deeper into Stephen McDaniel's life, a chilling pattern of behavior began to emerge. They uncovered a trail of digital evidence that painted a disturbing picture of his growing obsession with Lauren Giddings. McDaniel's computer became a treasure trove of incriminating information. Forensic analysis revealed a series of disturbing online searches conducted by McDaniel in the weeks leading up to Lauren's murder. He had been obsessively researching topics such as chloroform, torture methods, and how to dispose of a body. These searches, coupled with his physical stalking of Lauren, painted a clear picture of McDaniel's premeditated plan to harm her. The evidence was overwhelming. Stephen McDaniel was not just a curious law student, he was a dangerous predator who had meticulously plotted the murder of his unsuspecting neighbor. Section 5. The gruesome details, the murder and disposal of Lauren's body. On the night of June 25, 2011, Stephen McDaniel's sinister plan came to a horrifying fruition. Armed with a weapon he had purchased weeks earlier, McDaniel entered Lauren's apartment while she slept. The details of what transpired inside that apartment remained shrouded in darkness, but the outcome was clear. Lauren Giddings' life was brutally cut short. In a cold and calculated attempt to cover up his crime, McDaniel dismembered Lauren's body, concealing her remains in several garbage bags. He then disposed of the bags in a dumpster outside their apartment complex, believing he had successfully erased all evidence of his heinous act. However, McDaniel's efforts to conceal his crime proved futile. Investigators quickly zeroed in on him as the prime suspect, after discovering a master key to Lauren's apartment in his possession. The evidence against McDaniel was mounting with each passing day, leaving him with no choice but to confess to his gruesome crime. Section 6. A community in shock, public reactions, and the quest for justice. The news of Lauren Giddings' murder and the subsequent arrest of Stephen McDaniel sent shockwaves throughout the community of Macon, Georgia. Residents were left grappling with a mix of grief, anger, and disbelief. How could someone they perceived as a quiet and studious law student commit such a horrific act? The idyllic facade of their community had been shattered, replaced by a sense of vulnerability and fear. The courtroom became a focal point for the community's grief and outrage as the trial of Stephen McDaniel commenced. Prosecutors presented a mountain of evidence against McDaniel, detailing his stalking, online searches, and the gruesome discovery of Lauren's remains. The public watched in horror as the details of McDaniel's crimes were laid bare for all to see. Throughout the trial, Lauren's family and friends displayed remarkable strength and resilience, honoring her memory while demanding justice for her senseless murder. Section 7. Inside the Mind of a Killer, Exploring McDaniel's Motives. The question that continued to haunt everyone following Stephen McDaniel's conviction was a simple yet deeply unsettling one. Why? What drove this seemingly ordinary law student to commit such a horrific act of violence against an innocent young woman? Psychiatrists and criminal profilers have offered various theories in an attempt to shed light on McDaniel's psyche. Some believe that he suffered from a severe form of erotomania, a delusional disorder in which an individual becomes convinced that another person, often someone of higher social status, is in love with them. Others speculate that McDaniel's actions were rooted in a deep-seated sense of inadequacy and a need for control. They theorize that he targeted Lauren because she represented everything he was not: successful, outgoing, and popular. Whatever the underlying reasons, one thing remains clear: Stephen McDaniel's actions were those of a deeply disturbed and dangerous individual. His case serves as a chilling reminder that evil can lurk in the most unexpected places, hidden beneath a veneer of normalcy. Section 8. The trial and conviction, justice served, but questions remain. The trial of Stephen McDaniel was a harrowing and emotional experience for all involved. Prosecutors presented a meticulous case laying out the overwhelming evidence of McDaniel's guilt. They argued that his actions were premeditated and driven by a dark obsession with Lauren Giddings. McDaniel's defense team attempted to paint a picture of a mentally unstable young man, suggesting that he was not in control of his actions. However, their arguments proved unconvincing in the face of the overwhelming evidence presented by the prosecution. In 2014, after weeks of testimony and deliberation, the jury reached a verdict: guilty. Stephen McDaniel was convicted of first-degree murder and sentenced to life in prison without the possibility of parole. While the verdict brought a sense of closure and justice for Lauren Giddings' family and friends, it did little to answer the lingering questions about McDaniel's motives. The case remains a chilling reminder of the darkness that can reside within seemingly ordinary individuals and the devastating toll that evil can take on innocent lives. Section 9. Lessons from a Nightmare. Remembering Lauren and preventing future tragedies. The murder of Lauren Giddings at the hands of Stephen McDaniel sent shockwaves far beyond the community of Macon, Georgia. It served as a stark reminder that evil can lurk in the most unexpected places, and that none of us are immune to the threat of violence. In the wake of this tragedy, it is essential to honor Lauren's memory by learning from the mistakes that allowed her killer to go undetected for so long. We must be vigilant in recognizing the warning signs of stalking and obsession, both in our own lives and in the lives of those around us. We must foster a culture of open communication, where victims of stalking and harassment feel empowered to come forward and seek help without fear of judgment or reprisal. Law enforcement agencies must receive adequate training and resources to effectively investigate and prosecute stalking cases, holding perpetrators accountable for their actions. By working together, we can create a safer society where tragedies like the murder of Lauren Giddings become a distant memory, a reminder of a time when we turned a blind eye to the warning signs that were right in front of us. Let us honor Lauren's legacy by dedicating ourselves to preventing future tragedies and ensuring that justice prevails for all victims of violence.